In a small village nestled between forgotten hills, there lived a young man named Arjun. He was 20 years old, with calloused hands and tired eyes that had seen too much struggle for someone so young. His father had died when Arjun was 15, leaving behind a small farm with rocky, stubborn soil that refused to grow anything of value. While other young men in the village dreamed of escaping to the city, Arjun stayed behind to care for his aging mother and two younger sisters. Every morning, Arjun would wake before sunrise and stare at the massive pile of rocks that covered the only fertile land on his property. Generations of farmers had looked at those rocks and given up. The task seemed impossible. The villagers often gathered at the tea stall to discuss Arjun's foolishness. They would laugh and shake their heads whenever they saw him carrying rocks away from the field, one handful at a time. "That boy is wasting his life," they would say. "Those rocks have been there for 100 years. Does he think he is stronger than time itself?" Even his own uncle visited one evening and spoke harshly to him. "Arjun, stop this madness. Sell the land. Take your family to the city. Find a real job. You are young. Do not waste your youth moving stones. That will never end." That night, Arjun sat alone under the stars, his back aching, his hands bleeding, his heart heavy with doubt. He looked at the field. He had been working for 2 years, yet the pile of rocks seemed just as large as before. Tears rolled down his cheeks as he whispered to the darkness, "Maybe they are right. Maybe I am a fool chasing an impossible dream." He decided he would quit in the morning. But as Arjun walked home that night, he passed the home of old grandmother Lakshmi, the oldest woman in the village. She was sitting outside, weaving a basket by candlelight, as she did every single night. She looked up and saw his tears. "Sit down, child," she said softly. Arjun sat beside her, too exhausted to refuse. "You are thinking of giving up," she said. It was not a question. Arjun nodded, ashamed. Grandmother Lakshmi held up her basket. "Do you know how many baskets I have woven in my lifetime?" Arjun shook his head. "Over 20,000, she said quietly. "One basket does nothing. One basket feeds no one, changes nothing. But one basket, woven every single day for 60 years. I have sent all 6 of my grandchildren to school with these baskets. One of them is now a doctor in the city." She set the basket down and looked directly into his eyes. "Arjun, the mountain does not care about your big dreams. It does not respect your grand plans. The mountain only respects one thing: the man who shows up every single day. No matter how small his hands, no matter how heavy his heart. Consistency is not about strength. It is about stubbornness. It is about refusing to quit, even when quitting makes perfect sense." She paused and smiled gently. "The rocks have been there for 100 years because no one was stubborn enough to move them for more than a few months. But you have already lasted 2 years. You are not a fool, child. You are the most dangerous kind of person, someone too stubborn to stop." That night, something shifted inside Arjun's heart. He stopped measuring his progress in weeks or months. He stopped looking at how far he had to go. He simply promised himself one thing: he would move rocks today. Just today. And tomorrow, he would make the same promise again. 3 more years passed. The villagers stopped laughing. They started watching. Some even started helping. On a quiet morning, exactly 5 years after he had begun, Arjun placed the final rock at the edge of his field. He stood in the middle of what was now clear, fertile land ready for planting. His mother came outside, saw the empty field, and fell to her knees weeping. Word spread through the village like wildfire. People came from neighboring towns to see the boy who had moved a mountain with his bare hands. But the story does not end there. That year, Arjun planted his first crop. It grew abundantly in the rich soil that had waited beneath those rocks for generations. The harvest was so successful that he could finally send his sisters to school. Within 10 years, Arjun owned the most prosperous farm in the entire region. Young men from the village began coming to him for advice. They asked him for his secret, expecting some clever trick or strategy. Arjun would simply smile and say, "There is no secret. I just moved one rock today, and then I did it again tomorrow, and the day after that. The mountain was never my enemy. My enemy was the voice inside me that said one rock does not matter. But one rock, moved every single day, eventually moves mountains." Today, a small stone marker stands at the edge of Arjun's field. On it are carved the words he lives by. Consistency is not about being the strongest. It is about being the one who never stops. And perhaps this story is not just about Arjun. Perhaps it is also about you. What mountain are you facing right now? What pile of rocks seems too large to ever move? Remember, you do not have to move the whole mountain today. You just have to move one rock. and then show up tomorrow and do it again. Because the truly powerful ones are not those who have the most strength. They are the ones who simply refuse to quit. Keep moving your rocks, my friend. Your clear field is waiting.